Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? Welcome to East versus West 7. It's the pre-show, and you might be surprised to see me sitting here. We are live. Hey, I'm sat with Derek Smith. Derek's going to be anchor commentator tonight, along with the very sexy Travis Pageant, who is standing just over here, out of shot. And it is going to be a big night. New look to the stage. New format, new number of matches, mate. It's reduced.
Yes, yeah. I think it should give us a little more time to focus on the athletes. And I know the wait time, three minutes between rounds in this event, I think it was a minute and a half last event. So they basically doubled the amount of rest time. So we'll have a little more space, a little more time to kind of delve into the athletes, and maybe I can get a little more analytical with what I would like to see them change throughout the rounds, and what kind of moves I'm looking to see them get into and segue into. So I'm more excited about kind of getting into it, listening to their corners and the advice that they'll give and things like that. So spacing out the event, I think is good. All in all, by having less matches. So I think you guys want to sit there for an entire day and watch arm wrestling, which I know I'm okay watching an entire day of arm wrestling personally.
Well, it's sort of divided the crowd, hasn't it? A lot of people love that. Purists, myself, we're going to sit there and enjoy that just because of the quality of matches. But so many new fans are coming to the sport right now, Derek. And the guys that are just new in, maybe they don't want to sit through that many matches. Tonight, it's moving towards that lower profile number where about 12 matches, one of them's been added, and that's going to start us off tonight. Good place for us to start, and what a high level match. Late addition to the card, Mindaugas Terasaitis, high level top roller.
Yes.
And you throw him against his arch nemesis. It's Oleg Chikasov, who we know is a hook monster and a staying power for days. How do you see this going down?
I mean, I see, first off, you wouldn't be able to tell that they're rivals off last night's press conference when Oleg's Mr., the nicest guy in the world. And Mindaugas was trying to get it fired up, but Oleg wasn't having any of it. He wasn't going to bite. But I'm really excited to see that immovable bicep of Oleg's and see if Mindaugas has enough in the hand to kind of make something happen, to get him outside of position enough, or maybe that starts opening up, and what kind of position, what kind of speed he's going to need to get that position to maybe open up a little.
Now, one of the interesting things about that match is that when the match was published, a lot of people were saying, Alex Chikasov's a heavy favourite. He's going to come in here as a huge favourite. And yet, when you look at the record of the guys, it seems to lean a little bit towards Mindaugas Terasaitis. Styles make matches. This is not the WAF. This is not the EAF. This is East versus West. These guys, what excites me about it, you've got polar opposites from a technical perspective, and both of these guys are going to get the opportunity to go through their full range. Who can get to 3 first? Super exciting matches, and I think the first round is pivotal.
Oh yeah, it's going to show us so much about which direction they plan on going. I mean, it's going to be so fast regardless. Guys this size are way too fast for me. I can barely see it, and so I think definitely we'll see directions. I also think within their own moves, they're fairly versatile. I feel like they know how to transition and find different lanes within their own move. We know Ole likes to hook, and Mindaugas is more of a hand arm wrestler, but I'd like to see what kind of switches and changes they make within their own move today.
Now, before we go any further, just as the stage had a slight collapse, these are the things you don't see. They literally collapsed while Derek was talking there. Look how professional Derek Smith was. He didn't miss a beat. Stage nearly fell on his big ass, and he didn't give a shit.
I would be fine.
Just carried on rolling. He feels like he can take a minor stage set collapse all over him. So the next match on the card, I think it's going to be Adam Brzezinski for Warzone, and he is facing an absolute dark horse, a guy who's got myth and legend at the age of 18 years old. Macho Saganashvili carries with him the biggest name in the game and a huge reputation for a man that never says a goddamn word. Listen, they'll tell you that it's the quiet ones you gotta watch for. And this guy hasn't said a fucking thing on them. We've been trying to get him to speak. He will not talk. Right. But he's got some thick palms though, Derek.
Yes, he does. I shook his hand. In my hand, I feel like my hand barely went around the bottom of his hand. That's a wide-handed individual. And quiet. I mean, I met him and I wanted a picture of him. He just nodded.
Yeah, he literally won't speak to you. He don't talk.
He's gonna be all action. This guy has no talk, all action. I mean, I've been watching what I can find on him, and he's so explosive, and he's just bored at his weight, like in his age group and his class. I mean, he's definitely ready to step up to some serious levels. I think the big question for me here is we haven't seen how strong Adam Marinsky is. I don't think we've seen the limit of how strong he is here on this East vs. West stage. I mean, his last couple matches, he just looks like a brick wall, basically. So I want to see what his limits are. I want to see how fast Macho is and what he can do with Adam's size and bigger frame. So I'm really excited to see more Macho's answers for Adam.
And the interesting thing about Macho is that the word on the streets with the Georgian crew that are in the facility today. I spoke to David Iraqli, I spoke to Levan Saganashvili, I spoke to Samusha. All these guys have a very, very consistent story with this fella. And it revolves around the fact that they feel like he is the next big thing coming out of Georgia. They feel like he's their emerging superstar. For so many people to have that consistent view is rare for a young man. There doesn't seem to be any concern about the fact that he's facing a guy who's older, been in the game longer, has experience of this specific event. There seems to be no concern. They're giving it that almost, hey, you just sit back and watch this, as though they know something you don't know. And that, you can't help but buy into that. I mean, you tell us guys, have you bought into it? Are you buying into the myth and legend? Do you see Macho Saganashvili as a favourite here? Or is he the underdog against Adam, who was so impressive? I mean, you were from the US. Were you aware of Adam's level? Did you think the Warzone was going to come in and slap around someone of the level that he did in that first outing? You come over and you beat Virginar, you're something special.
Well, I knew Adam was coming up, and honestly, I was one of the first people to tell Engen about Adam. I started seeing Adam's praises. He was asking about up and coming, North American arm wrestlers, and I was watching Adam Marinsky in the United States and his good work and how his endurance and how strong he was center table. And there's our guys. I've been really proud of the North Americans that have been coming up at the lighter weight classes lately. To see our guys like Justin Bishop and all of our considered lighter guys come over here and start doing well on the big stage is a newer thing, I think, in general. And to see Adam Marinsky come over here and start crushing it, I had a feeling it would happen, and I'm really happy he fulfilled all that potential and all those words I told about Engen about him. So yeah, I mean, I've seen it coming for a little bit, and I'm happy he's doing it.
No, where did Adam first get on your radar? What was the first one? Because he's had wins against Brent Rackers, dominant wins against top-level competition. What first put him on your radar?
Oh man, I'm trying to think of the matches. It's just like because I watched so many highlight reels. It's like a highlight reel. I think it was hearing him talk about how he trains with Chad Silvers.
Yeah.
So it was the first time I hear Chad Silvers talking about arm wrestling and Chad, building someone up. That's the first time I kind of turned eyes onto Adam, and that's going to kind of get me wondering if Chad, kind of like Levan and them believing in Macho, Chad Silvers, hailing Adam Marinsky, that's going to make me wonder about who this guy is. That's kind of what got me looking at him in the first place.
Look, guys, I can't take this any longer. I'm going to have to get Travis on here as well. I'm going to get that fat ass out of his seat and kneel down for a minute. If it gets too bad, we'll switch. But we'll bring in Travis Page and go, Trav, come over here, mate. You sit down. I'll perch on here for a minute, and we can carry it on, because we've also got Rolly Ray Lipin just stood right here. He looks like the milk tray man, all in black. And we might just call his ass in as well anyway.
You want to? You just said we might come on his ass.
No, we didn't. I did not say that.
Say it.
Listen,
Did say it.
I've had a lot of people depending on me, but that ain't happening.
Yeah, but I say.
Now then, Travis, we're talking about Adam. Warfinski. Bad dude. Now, the last time we have seen some emerging talent like this that you got excited about, I think I'm going to take you back to the year 2004. And we were over in Poland, and you were talking a lot about Todd Hutchins and where this guy could go, and he would emerge, and he would become this monster, and my God, so he did. Yeah. Where's the ceiling for this dude? Is Adam in that environment? Is he that strong?
I mean, listen, I think that it's funny that their stories are so similar. So first of all, you're talking about intelligent people, right? Todd Hutchins and Adam Warzinski, both. I think both are engineers.
Yes, sir.
So whenever the guy shows up and you can tell that he has a superior intelligence level, you really got to think about, how far he could possibly come. You add in the veteran Chad Silvers as a training partner, and listen, I've been to Chad's house. I've arm wrestled with those guys, and listen, Chad is a bad dude, man. From his consistency to how important it is at practice for you to wrestle for hours and hours. So I believe that Adam Warzinski, to say he's going to be a Todzilla could be a stretch. I mean, Todzilla could be the best arm wrestler in the United States. Weirdo, yeah. So, but hey, Adam Warzinski has that quiet confidence, and you can't tell him he's not the guy already. And listen, there's about 5 or 6 200-pound guys in the United States. Every one of them is traveling over here, taking on the competition abroad. I am looking forward to find out who really is the best 200-pounder in the United States, and I think Adam Warzinski is definitely one of those names.
So just to get a little bit of balanced perspective on this, I'm going to try and call this Rolly Ray. Rolio, come up here, son. And talk of the devil, Adam Warzinski has literally just walked into the friggin' venue.
Adam.
There he is in his sleeveless shirt. Look at the hair on Warzone. Let me tell you now, if this is and there's a story. If you were looking for a underlying story to the match, this is it. It's a game of hairstyles tonight, motherfuckers. Check out the Elvis Quiff thing going on that Macho's got, and check out that slick son of a bitch over there. Hey, which do you like? So Rolly, who the friggin' hell is Macho Saginaw Philly? Tell us about this guy for the people that don't know him. Junior, top man, now he's in the seniors at 18.
I don't know.
Can I just say also, that's the first time he's ever been taller than me.
Yeah. I feel weird. I think all the world is going to be introduced to Macho today. Is the hype real? Is the arm as strong as all the Georgians are saying, or are they just trying to bring another guy in?
Thank you, babes.
And Adam is a huge test. He's an insane test. What he did to Ojidar is unexpected, to say the least, and ridiculous showing of power. So I expect Adam to win, but I'm really interested in this kid.
Do you think Adam wins on endurance, mate, or is he as strong as Macho?
Like, we have zero data, right?
Yeah.
We have zero data. The last time guy pulled, he was 14 years old, and it was in WF tournament. So, we'll see.
How impressed have you been with Adam generally in terms of the guys coming up out of North America? Do you think he's the main? Because you got Paulie, who's looking at it. You got the evergreen Rob Midgets Jr., who looks in a good place. You got Doug Ehrlich, who's you've had up close and personal experience of. All these guys that are resurging, coming back, and starting to really bring the US market back up. Is this the best of them? Is Adam the man?
He's definitely there. Most of the times, these guys haven't pulled each other at all. Okay, so we really don't know where they rank with each other. I'm also very excited to see that. I think if Adam wins this and he wins comfortably, he needs a much bigger match, much bigger challenge. Maybe shuffle the
Won't be able to hear them. Won't be able to hear them.
Oh, okay.
Incredible pedigree. He got handled by Adam. Big night, massive prospect, and we learn a lot about both men right there. I'm going to check with Ryan what our third match is. You know what Engin's saying? You're too fat to kneel down. He's worried about my health, ladies and gentlemen. Probably for good reason. I'm going to grab that. There you go. When you've got Engin telling you, you don't need to be kneeling down. You know you're in a bad place. Who we got next, Ryan?
Let's talk about Doug Ehrlich and Daniel Prokopchuk.
And all because the lady loves milk tray. Okay, Doug Ehrlich. When he first showed up here at East versus West, I'm going to say he was an underdog. In the eyes of most people, he was an underdog. Maybe not in the eyes of the North Americans, because this guy did have a bigger pedigree than probably a lot of the European lads do. He's been around the game for a long period of time. He's got some notable wins. But it is now fair to say, in his second outing here at East versus West, He really is a hook. I mean, holy shit. Not being funny, he's a hook.
Yeah,
Daniel
so in your opinion, Daniel takes care of Coach Ray consistently.
Yes. What I'm saying, I think that Daniel represents there or thereabouts the pinnacle in this weight division. He's right there.
In this weight division at 176, correct? Or 176.
Anywhere up to 187, when this guy walks in and he's ready and prepped. I mean, that beaming smile that he's been walking around the hotel with is for a reason. The man is confident, he's tried and tested, and he's stupid strong. On his left arm, even stronger. But what do we not know about Doug? Where are you guys sitting on this? Do you think that this is East biased and that Doug can do something with it?
Well, I mean, the truth is, the best thing about the setup is that there's always that little bit of unknown with the geographical location being so far away. Super impressed with Daniel as a human being. I think, once again, you'll find at the tip top of all the weight classes, there's either an unbelievable amount of genetics or a combination of strength and intelligence. Daniel, as intelligent as they get, to me, Doug Ehrlich's route through the East versus West was clear. He was going to be a stepping stone for the future in Coach Ray and the YouTube and all of the publicity. Coach Ray was supposed to win that match, and then boom, not only did he not win, but it made you think, like, how strong can Doug Ehrlich be, or how strong is he right now? What I like is that Doug appears to be the bigger framed human being. I imagine that he gets everything he can on the top. And if Daniel is clearly stronger than him, then we'll see it right away. But all you need is just a little bit up top. You compromise that hand and wrist. And with Doug being, like, to me, Coach Ray was bigger than Doug. And then for this time, I think that Doug's got the advantage. And if he can somehow just get the leverage advantage, then hey, not only can he win, but he told me that he's going for the champ next time if he can get this one.
Yes, sir. That is exactly what he said. Now let's come to you, Derek. Few people will know more about the fact that size does matter, apart from myself. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But does it? Is this going to be his weapon? Is that Doug's big weapon going into here? The fact that he's got the bigger frame, the longer lever. I mean, when you look at the guys stood next to each other, Doug is a way bigger human.
Yeah, I think that in some respects, Daniel's style is similar to Oleg Turkosov, we was talking about earlier, with that immovable arm. Now, I think Oleg is a little more bicep dependent, and Daniel's a little more joint dependent. I think he drives a little more sideways with the shoulder, locking his elbow joint a little bit. But I think that either way, I think any kind of slow approach, so big men are usually slow, with the exception of Travis, So I think that if he tries to go anything slow with Daniel, I think it's a bad idea. I think if he lets Daniel get a hold of him, any kind of grinder whatsoever, that wrist touches Doug's wrist, I think it's a bad idea. I want to see how explosive Doug's going to be in this match. I think if he's going to take it home, it's going to have to be evident in the first round or two, and we're going to be able to see it coming from a mile away. I think if Daniel's in the match, then he's deeply in it, or he's not in it at all.
So let me ask you a question on this, and this is to both of you, really. If you're Doug, are you looking to finish the match super quick straight off the bat, or are you hitting for position? In round one, do you just try to hit that first inch position, or are you going to the pad, knowing that Daniel's going to fling joint at you? He's going to come forward and just look for the stop.
I believe that Doug Ehrlich is in a life or death battle for his life when it comes to the invitation coming to Istanbul. And for it to continue, he must win. And not only he must win, I think, for a lot of these guys here, this is a one and done kind of situation. There are 100 amazing athletes that are waiting for this invitation. So I think that Doug's all or nothing fight for his life. And I think if Doug knows his opponent, then he knows that he has to get it done as quick as possible.
Now, if you're wondering exactly who Doug is pulling against, who is that guy? Right there. Hey, Daniel. Just keep showing up. Hey, fella, smile.
Hello.
Hello, Daniel.
Right there, getting himself warmed up and ready for the match. What a match that's going to be. He'll start as a big favourite, but how good is Doug Ehrlich? Who we got next, Ryan? What's our next match on the card, mate?
It's a good one. What I'm particularly looking forward to, RVJ and Sarah.
Right then, here we go. If you Believe in monsters. If you like the fairy story, you love RVJ. This is a guy that's in his 40s. Lifetime natural. Weirdo. Not a normal human being. Hands are ridiculous. Physical impossibility to pick his nose. Outspoken. Does not care what he says. Doesn't pull frequently, but when he does, he seems to bite off big matches and has, despite the fact that he's taken a few ass whippings, always has that little comment from the arm wrestling faithful and the old guard that if this guy shows up, everybody's in trouble.
And it's honest. That's an honest depiction, right? And what a treat right here in this auditorium. If there is any success from Rob Vision Jr. early, you are going to see a person that is going to entertain the entire country of Turkey here. It will be on the Channel 5 news here in Turkey if Rob actually gives us the winning, just the most outlandish debater, commentator, comedian, everything that you could ever want will be here if in fact there's some success. I've seen in the past, just like all of us charismatic guys, if you get shut down early, usually it affects the timing of your jokes. So we'll see. We will see. I am looking forward to this. I believe that Macho and Zaur are pretty similar human beings, with Zaur having a little more horsepower and weight at the present time. So I believe that, don't be surprised if this is an uphill battle that Rob is not able to get involved in. However, once again, the two face-to-face, and Rob Vision looks to me like the biggest dude here at the whole event.
Mate, Rob looks amazing. And I think perhaps more importantly in the whole fairy story, myth and legend, or reality of Rob Vision Jr., and you believe what you want to believe. But when that guy is mentally in the game, is when his threat is most significantly represented. That much we are sure of. And Rob Vision Jr. has a scary air of confidence and of well-being about him. He seems to have a little bit of swag. Seems to have a little bit of pep in his stride, mate. How is this going to go down? Where's your money? If you've got 100, where's it going?
Derek, jump on that. $100. Where is it going?
Oh man, I think I know Rob says he's back into it, and I know last night on the press conference he was saying inactivity isn't a big deal because you haven't been active against me. You've been active against other people, but not Rob. Right? That's what he was saying. But still, I do wonder. He hasn't been, besides the Sasha match, he hasn't been performing having big matches as of recently. So it makes me wonder. Zarab's at AMC like last week. He's over there having heavy matches, showing how strong he is. And somehow, even though if you look from the outside, it looks like Rob Vision's, his potential, his warehouse of potential is this massive. And where is he? Has he even filled up half of that thing? And Zaur, I got to wonder if he's reaching the top. I mean, how that hand can only get so big. He's not getting bigger, and he's filling out that frame. So it's always where's Rob? It's always what stage is Rob at? Where's he going to be? Which Rob's going to show up? I think given what Zarab's been doing, I have to have Zaur as the favorite going into this. I think that Rob has such a big dominant hand. I think he takes the hand, and looking like a lot of Zarab's matches, it's going to be arm wrestling without the hand, and we're going to see is he going to have enough drive to kind of get it done is what I'm thinking is going to happen.
And you make a good point. I mean, the AMC, if you look at who he pulled there, absolute field of slayers. And that was real affirmation for Rob. I mean, he really confirmed what a lot of people have been saying for a while, Engen's belief in him, that he is the real deal. In both the supermatch format, which he's suited to because of that unbelievable endurance that he has, but also finishing the match under any condition and in evolving circumstance. What is interesting tonight is that people think that this is all about, Rob just needs to hit that top roll and hang on. Rob, we've also seen bust open people's hand and then jump down on them. And his hand is huge. If you were sort of betting the strategy, if you were the coach of RVJ, what's his best look? What should he do here?
His best look is to treat this like he's an underdog. Meaning, stay as far away from him as possible. Make sure Robinson is always reaching and trying to get to him. I would never cross center, and I would stay on my side until the referee forced me over there. I would not mind the grip I had, as long as it compromised the grip of Zaur. I have begged Rob Dixon Jr. to listen to me for years and years. Every once in a while, he'll do exactly what I say, and each of those times, he's been super successful against people he wasn't supposed to be. Now, this could be too tough of a hill to climb. I mean, not only is his inactivity, but then you have this overactivity over here. You have a situation where Zaur, his level could be just higher than Rob's will ever be, right? I mean, you're talking, Rob spent most of his life in that 198 pounds life. This is the true, what's the weight, 220, 209?
I mean, yeah, but the other thing is there, it's about maximizing what you've got on your frame. The other angle there, or the counter to that, is Zaur came from that lightweight class and has pretty much packed as much muscle as it's possible to pack on a frame, but he can't alter his frame. And Rob is the guy that could go 242 pounds and still look right there, still look comfortable.
Yeah, Rob's biggest enemy will be trying to do it traditionally and with dominance. And he needs to make sure early that he treats this guy like a super sharp. Be careful where you are on the table, because there is a lane, I think, that Rob won't be able to slow down.
And it's called the hook. He needs to keep well away from this dude. I think we're going into the next match.
I just want to chime in on Raw real quick.
Oh, here we go.
So,
Ryan's,
saw
hey,
the East versus West.
just before we go any further, right? This guy, Ryan Turner, has come over to East versus West, and the man has worked non-stop, and the lads will back me on what I'm saying. He never put the camera down in pursuit of bringing you guys excellent footage, and he's got it. He has been working his ass off, hasn't walked away from anywhere. If you turn around, this guy's trying to capture it and bring you. Massive respect.
Well, thank you, first of all. Second of all, I'm at East versus West. This is not work. It's unbelievable to be here. Being around the athletes, being taken care of so well. And I wanted to chime in here because you may have saw on the channel we did an interview with RVJ. I went to his training club. I gripped up with him. I do that probably twice a year with Rob, and I have for 4 years. I have never felt him like I felt him right now. Now, I'm newer to the sport than him. I should be closing that gap. I don't know what he's done, but he's widening it since the last time I spoke to him. And he has options. We went inside. He let me just press him, try to talk roll him. He's in better shape than he was in his last match, and this might be the sleeper pick of the night. So I just want to tell you, I have personal experience.
Let's go!
Again,
America! America!
nothing set in stone. It's Zaur we're talking about, but get excited for that match because Raw is strong, and I'll leave it at that.
Where that myth and legend is, that is where and that is why. There is always that little. Oh, it's that.
Oh, what's this?
Is that an angry?
A cameo. Wow, get back here. Hey.
That guy out of here. Get that guy out.
There's the man right there. There's the man. Thank you, Engin.
I thank you guys.
We're not going to get through it.
There's no way we're getting through all these matches. Friggin' show will be over. Who we got next, guys?
Without these guys, this event wouldn't be this good. That this event is good because athletes are great. The people who you are watching right now are great, and you fans are great. We all together, we are beautiful. We are great.
True words. True words. All right, hey, let's talk about Cody Merritt and Alexey Muratov.
Oh my God, this is such a divisive match. I mean, yeah, where are the rosary beads? All I can say is, Cody Merritt has always been that guy who's just sat underneath the recognition as the man. And he's enjoyed his days in the sun. He's come over and he's had great wins. He's former WF World Champion. He's a huge individual, and he's lethal on that left arm against 99.9% of people. But that friggin' 0.1% might be Alexey Muratov, because this man specializes in slaying giants. This one is Van Helsing. He is a killer of monsters. They don't come much bigger than Cody Merritt, but I can tell you right now, Alexey Muratov is dynamic, he's aggressive, and he's here. He came to kill your monster. How's this going to go down, Travis, baby?
Please, Cody, if you can do one thing for the United States of America, do not allow this middleweight champion to beat you. Please, right? Every time you go down, Cody, a piece of my legacy goes down with you. Let's go.
You know what? I have Cody.
Derek has killed us in the past, my legacy, with some of his results. Don't be Derek.
Those baby farms are killing yourself right now. So this is my long shot pick, right? I understand that Cody is not being seen as the favorite in this one, but in my channel, I predicted Cody to can take this one. This is my boy, and but I understand also that if you're a gambling man, Alexey is a force to be reckoned with. He's fast, he's strong, he's beaten the who's who recently, and at WAF as well. And so I'm excited to see if Cody can maintain his hand and have any kind of center table control. I think we're gonna know right away.
You know what I would love to see here as well is for Cody Merritt to step outside of his usual ultra respectful, humble, almost subservience at the table. This guy wins when one of his primary considerations is being ultra fair, ultra controlled, ultra respectful, and you kind of there's a little voice on your shoulder saying, "Get pissed off, Cody, be the bully, step up there and boss this guy," because you do feel like if he was to do that, if he was to go up there and arm wrestle weak and see the back of his hand and move this guy off center, he's a very big man to move around the arm wrestling table, and that may allow him to teach this young man a lesson.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even know, is there a lesson there? Or is this guy already, I mean, if he stays in his weight class, he's got to be as dominant as they come. Cody just needs to be a bully.
Absolutely.
100% be a bully
Yeah.
the entire time. Go crazy. I do think that this is the second time here, I think that Cody is probably a little more adjusted, and we will get a great first couple starts, whether he has the endurance and the cardio to finish out this guy.
Listen, I do not consider myself a cardio freak. I'm like a 5, maybe 6 stairs man at a push. But I'm figuring on sand uphill against speed race, I'll fucking kill Cody Merritt. I will say it right now.
I agree. Good luck, Cody Merritt. Let's go.
Who's next, brother?
Artyom, Georgi Zaranov.
Oh my God. Right. Artyom. We talk about sleepers on a card, okay? We talk about guys that are underrated. If you trace back this guy's performance in the WAF, Super Heavyweight World Championships, he's consistently a slave. He's a guy that's taken out the very best of our game, okay? We are in Turkey. He is motivated, he's fast, he's super explosive. He's got to start as favourite here. Even when you look at Zaranov's top end strength, his raw power, it's more static. How do you see this one?
I mean, Arif, the crazy thing is how you see how big he is, and you think, oh man, this dude is huge. His top end horsepower must be ridiculous. But I think it's his speed that kills him. He is so fast, and I think those two things combined is going to be what's really going to carry him out of this match. And I think that Arif is still looking for that bigger and bigger shot here at the East vs. West stage. So I'm excited to see, does Arif, if Arif taking this match, who do they pair him up with next? Is kind of what I'm looking at. And with all respect to Georgi Zaranov, he's amazing. But even when you see those two human beings walking down the hallway, you're like, oh man, Arif's huge right now. He looks crazy strong. I mean, I saw Gennady and I saw Arif, and it looks very similar right now. So I want to see. who they're going to pair up with Arif after this. That's what I keep thinking about. He looks like he's trying to climb up that ladder, the super heavyweight ladder at the international stage, and so I think he's ready for another one at East vs. West, a bigger showing. And with Zaranov, I think this is going to be his ability to show what he can do, even though his last match was with Corey West.
Yes, yeah.
So hardly a match. Like, talk about a guy not getting credit. I mean, Corey West did pull left-handed, and I think that match was a little more back and forth. It was a tough battle with Fareed. But it was absolute domination of Corey West. And Corey West, I've never really seen Corey West dominated ever. So don't be surprised if the great country of Turkey, maybe that's their guy.
Oh my God, it is.
Going to see in the next couple of years. this guy with matches with Dave Chafee, matches with, you know, Artyom, all of the top guys. I mean, I wouldn't imagine that I could predict any top guy beating Corey as efficiently as Eric did. So,
And I mean, you talk about what better example than you from a confidence perspective, how you fuel that confidence. And Arif is walking around here with his chest puffed out. He looks like he could literally climb the wall of the building using all his lips. He is ready to go. Now, Zaranov, we were in the presser yesterday, and let me tell you now, we asked him a question direct, how's he feeling going into this? And his answer was, he feels like the underdog within himself. So are we seeing that sort of confidence dynamic play out right in front of us? Arif Ertem is breathing fire, wants to go. Zaranov, is he up there?
I mean, Zaranov probably is the same thing that I'm thinking is, how do you crush Corey West like that and not really have, I mean, you got a problem with this guy, man. I mean, the only thing we can hope is that Corey's cardio was so bad coming into that match after going left-handed that wasn't the Corey West. But besides that, I don't know. I mean, I understand why he feels he's the underdog. I feel the same way. But hey, listen, it's 50-50 here in the East versus West. Every time you think you know something, you realize that arm wrestling's about like buying a lottery ticket. Good luck.
Now, if you have not already got your pay-per-view for tonight's stellar card, get over now. Last chance to get in there, to get this thing bought. You can find it in the description. Get over there, buy it tonight. East versus West 7. We are close. This thing will get underway very, very shortly. We're maybe 40, 45 minutes away from showtime, and it's on. It's closing in, Derek Smith.
I'm so excited. I'm so invested in each one of these matches. I've been doing all my research and getting hyped for all these, so it's going to be an amazing card. Top end athletes out here, and so many people we haven't seen before, and people were really getting to see them test their limits up here. So I'm really excited about this match.
Who we got next, right?
Let's talk Dave Chafee, Rivas Lutidze.
Oh my God! Right, this is all you, because if one man in this building knows Dave Chafee well, it's Travis, the Beats Page. Easy money, resurgent, evolving, but a big, big test, and I mean big.
No doubt. And I think a bigger test, if Dave hasn't been going through what we've all seen him go through, an unbelievable start to all of these super matches, a huge lead, going into that third round thinking that the dominance is here and that we won't have any trouble. However, we do know one thing about Dave. Once that gas tank starts emptying, it runs dry super quick. I was super impressed with the size of Rivas. I mean, he's a big man.
Big dude.
Yeah, and also, you know, Rivas is probably a little still sideways about how that result with Michael Todd kind of turned out. He's seen the success that Michael Todd has had with Dave Chafee in the past. I think his confidence is pretty high. And also, too, I think that the Americans do a really good job of becoming the best they can be when they're in that group environment and they're not arm wrestling each other. They seem to be pulling for each other, and the pullers, they kind of step up because it's a team situation. So whenever you do something and it's not all about you, it's always more meaningful, no doubt. But I think when I looked over to the left, I begin to see the same thing with those Georgians. 4 or 5 of them sitting over there and gaining confidence from one another. I think this is a 50-50 route. I mean, I assume Dave will do well the first go, but he better do really well because we all know that clock is ticking when it comes to Dave's endurance. And listen, Dave's such an outstanding human being that we all are hoping that, like, I think it was okay for Dave to run out of gas. It kind of made the show good. But at this point, after a couple of those, I think if Dave is up 2-0, you're going to see the Americans and even Dave put a little more sense of urgency on closing that thing out to 3-0 and not allowing it to get deep in those rounds where we've seen Reese with Michael Todd seemingly pull forever.
And you make a great point at the end there, mate. Everybody sees Rivas' size. I always feel sorry for him. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. But he's the guy who's the number 3 guy. You know what I mean? You got Levant right there, top of the world. Tonight's headliner, one of the most charismatic, visceral, just engaging super heavyweights. I mean, he's not dissimilar looking to God, and I think that helps. Now, Gennady Quickvenia topping the bill. But last night he said to Devon, keep some space on your arm because you're going to need a third tattoo, and it's going to be this guy. That's where he sees Rivas. I feel like Rivas has been overlooked a great deal, but in his previous matches he has shown that the gas tank for a guy that big, the heart, is never in doubt.
Yeah. I mean, in my match with Rivas, he definitely showed the gas tank. It was a very close match. It was a long, drawn-out endurance match. So he definitely showed what he can do in the grind. I'm just kidding. He killed me. That guy crushed me. It was over before I could even slow him down. They're all looking at me like, what? Wait,
Who was looking at him like, you out of your goddamn
I'll go with it. Whatever. I'm with it. No, Rivas, he's a great dude, man, and he's very big guy. A lot bigger than you guys see on camera. I think that I think he's hand dominant. I think in this match, I think he takes Dave's hand. I really do think he'll succeed in bending Dave's wrist back. And then what happens after that? How comfortable is Dave now transitioning to that press that he's shown us a few times? Is he going to continue to drag back? And maybe, I think with Hermes, I think Dave dragged a little too far, got a little too disconnected for him to transition to that press with Hermes controlling center. So I'm wondering, how is Dave going to keep that in mind? Because Rivas is all hand, all outside, and I want to see how Dave's going to deal with that. I do have Dave picked as the favorite going into this. I think he's just going to have a little too much sideways, a little too much backwards, for Rivas to really slow down even in the straps. But I'm excited to see how he's going to accomplish it.
Now, Travis mentioned a moment ago that Dave Chafee has been on a little bit of a slide. He's a confident guy. He's been in tight spots before. But do you think he's coming in here tonight with a little bit more pressure because he's had a couple of losses here at East versus West? Do you feel like he feels like he's got something to prove?
Yes. He was telling me, he's been on a little bit of a losing streak, and that he really has decided to turn that around today. So that's what he told me yesterday at the luncheon. So I'm excited to see it. I think he can.
Well, if he wins, it won't be anything to do with that sloppy ass flop wrist thing that it kind of worked against. Vitaly. But if you look at the way that Vitaly approaches the table and how much of his lower body is underneath the table because of his size, I think that there was an unrealistic. If you look at that match, you think that what Dave did was so amazing. Really, if you look more, I think that the form of Vitaly is why Dave was able to come through with that press. And I would throw that out of your arsenal there, young man. If you use that earlier than round 2, it's over.
Amazing match, guys. Amazing match. Super heavyweight. We're only halfway through. Conscious of time, we're going to have to rattle on a little bit here. Who have we got next round?
I'll give you a hint. They're tall.
Oh my God. It's Lalatin, ladies and gentlemen. Vitaly Lalatin. One of the most, on first glance, visually deceptive individuals there. He's like, you see him and you think, oh, he's quite lean, he's quite slender, he gets closer, gets bigger, and then you're just drawn to the forearms. And the man is put together. There is no wasted weight on this man. It's all in that forearm. And we were talking a moment ago about resurgent arm wrestlers. If you wind the clock back not too many years ago, this guy was seen as the nailed-on number 2 super heavyweight on the right arm.
And was looking forward to him pulling his arm.
Yes.
To see if he was actually number 2 or number 1. And compromised the hand and wrist early in that thing. So top of the world, we're talking about Vitaly.
Since then, fallen from grace a little bit, but at that time, left arm was peaking. Probably his more technically proficient arm, maybe not the same level of strength as the right, but very technically proficient. And then, a little like Loan, drops away from that left and he's forgotten. He's out of the conversation. And in the meantime, a force rises from Sweden, a young man called Tobias, and he starts to gather momentum. And the roads meet, and here we are at East versus West. What a match. Travis, who you got?
Tobias reminds me a lot of the great John Brzenk. People ask me all the time, how tall is John Brzenk? And I say, well, when he first walks in, he's 6 foot tall. But no matter who he's up against, it won't take long before he's the same height as his opponent. whenever I see Vitaly, you can see him from abroad as he's walking forward. Immediately, you're like, this dude is 7 foot tall beast. I saw the face-off. Ladies and gentlemen, Tobias must be 6'7" all of a sudden. I mean, he shows up here, he's 6'3", and now he looks like he's 6'7". He's standing face to face with Vitaly. So, and then we think about Tobias, and immediately you understand that there is no one sharper at that table when it comes to angles, leverage, setup, style, technique. He has got it all on that left side. I am super excited. I believe these are 2 top 10 left-handers in the entire world that have no idea the impact of the win here. The guy is going to be suited up there to get ready for Vitaly and whoever else, and the loser will have a tough time getting invited back.
Ladies and gentlemen, mega match. We got 10 minutes, guys. We've just been told 10 minutes and we got to wrap. So we're going to rattle through it. And I think if we've only 10 minutes left, we got to go right up that card a little bit and let's get to our upper echelon matches. And I think it should be Iraqli, Ongobayev, and Iraqli. We cannot overlook this match because I feel physically sick when I think about it. It is maybe the best match on an unbelievably stacked card. My God. 2 guys that are right in their prime. On one side, representing the proud arm wrestling nation of Georgia, a guy who is in the richest vein of form and is coming off the back of a win against the perfect storm. His name is Iraqli Zirakashvili, and he is a phenom. Standing in his way on the other side of the table as champion, Shadara City's own Kazakhstani legend, Iraqli Ongobayev. Does anybody do this thing better than that young man right now, Tracey?
Absolutely amazing human being. The young Kazakhstan is maybe the future of all professional arm wrestling. You think about this match, and if you are a John Brzenk fan, if you're an arm wrestler, you understand that both of these guys, the last 2 people that beat John Brzenk recently, you think about if you watch both of those matches, maybe Iraqli took care of it a little more efficiently. But remember, Iraqli's match with John was after his loss to Ongobayev. That means that there could have been a little touch better John Brzenk when he actually pulled Iraqli. For Iraqli to get out of that match with the win is absolutely amazing. I believe that Ongobayev is the favorite, and I also will take my $100 and put it on Iraqli. Let's go.
Absolutely splits and divides the opinion. Where are you at, Derek Smith?
I am, the same thing. I think that Ongobayev's insanely ridiculous arm wrestler with his high posting style and how explosive he is in those hits. Even with the stop match, he still keeps hitting over and over and over again. I think he has the ability to continue pulling at a high level for a very long time in terms of endurance. I think that I think it'll be a measure of longer forms. I think that Ongobayev, I was looking, that's what I was watching yesterday, is who's a little bit taller, and Ongobayev had him by just a tiny bit in height, and I'm wondering if that carries over the forms. I think it's going to be a big player in this. I have Ongobayev picked as the favorite as well, and I think he's going to end up taking it. And then when he goes home to Kazakhstan, I don't know what they give him this time, a house. They're giving him cars and everything he could possibly have in Kazakhstan. So,
Shadara City, an absolute epicenter, a nucleus of arm wrestling talent, and right at the top, at the sharp end of that particular spear, stands this man, Iraqli Ongobayev. Edging ahead on the pole as the favourite. Do not underestimate the threat from Zirakashvili. Ladies and gents, East versus West 7, May the 6th, 2023, will be remembered for its main event match. It features Gennady Litvina of Georgia, one of the most visceral, violent, and entertaining super heavyweight arm wrestlers ever to be produced by that proud arm wrestling nation. He will face the most famous arm wrestler in the world this year. His name is No Limits Devon Larry. 6'5" tall, former special forces soldier who has dedicated every fibre of his being to the pursuit of excellence in the game of iron arms. Is this the biggest threat in terms of versatility and aggression that the Canadian Soldier Boy Superman has ever faced, Travis Pageant?
I believe it may be. I believe that the in-match charisma that what's his name?
We're talking about this Georgian guy.
Yeah.
He's Gennady something.
Gennady. We're looking for Gennady to be like, when Gennady was talking yesterday, the eruption of the Georgians, right? His trash talk is right there with Devin Laird. All we need is for him to have early success. If he does, this show, man, they're gonna blow the roof off of this auditorium today. And listen, the favorite's Devin Laird, and here's the reason why. At any point of the match that he gets control, he will not relinquish it. So for Gennady, it has to be a 3-0, 3-1. Really, really think about every start. If we get more than 10 starts to this 5 rounds, you can mark it. Devin Laird's going to win.
Last word of the day goes to the giant, Derek Smith. Who have you got, brother?
This match, I mean, like I said, you gotta have, or like Travis said, you gotta have Devin listed as the favorite. I think with all these super match, in general, the super match format, unless you have Levon size, I think Devin's the favorite. But I have been wanting this match for like 7 years. I've messaged Devin about this match for 7 years. I wanted a little more before Devin was King's moving. I wanted it when he was more inside or center table proficient. But now I'll take it now for sure. I mean, I expect Gennady to be all over the table, a ton of energy, and these guys are. This is a match we've been looking forward to forever. So I think this one is going to light up the crowd. I think it's going to be a match of the ages to see Gennady and see Devin screaming and what's going to come out of their mouths and what's going to happen on that table. I can't wait personally.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have got the enigma of rage, Engin Terzi, furiously signaling in the background, cut it, Fatty, we're out of time. And that is because we are super close to showtime now, ladies and gents, about 20 minutes away. If you've not already bought the pay-per-view, please get over there and support this. East versus West, bringing you a phenomenal card. I'm Neil Pickup, Derek Smith, Travis Bajan. We will be seeing you soon. Thanks for tuning in. Get ready, guys. It's on.